Okay, guys, so we are doing Beetlejuice, and well, I guess we're doing a lady Beetlejuice. So, first of all, we have to paint ourselves white. I am using a cream paint to achieve that white, and at first I scrape it all on and then I spread it out with a sponge. You're going to do this all along your face, neck, and like décolletage, chest area. I'm only showing you my face for the current moment because it took me a while to spread out the white. For some reason this year I just had like a real trouble with like getting white paints or white cream makeup or anything spreading over my face. But anyways, we just spread that all over our face. I did not block out my eyebrows for this look because I was going for like just turning myself into Beetlejuice, maybe more for like the what's his face? I guess we're going for more of like a Michael Keaton look rather than like a cartoon look. Although I grew up on the cartoon Beetlejuice and I don't think I've ever seen the Michael Keaton version of Beetlejuice all the way through. Like the in-person live Beetlejuice movie. Maybe I should watch that. But anyways, just doing white all over, even my eyelids, not anything too crazy or anything. We do move on to eyebrows, and at first whenever I'm doing my eyebrows I go in with a gray color because I didn't want them very prominent, but I have very prominent eyebrows in real life. So my natural eyebrows are fairly prominent, so the gray just really wasn't cutting it. So after I went in with the gray and filled them in and outlined them and things, I did end up going in with a darker color. I think it was black. And I do just go in at like the tail end and just bring it forward to really give me a more defined look. Now, as you will see in this Beetlejuice look, it is kind of a messy look, and I was going back and forth while I was thinking about doing this. Do I want my Beetlejuice to look like really, really manicured, or do I want it to look kind of like chaotic and messy? And the wig came out kind of chaotic and messy, and so I went for like in between. Like there are parts of this look that look a little bit more manicured, but the overall effect is rather messily put together and done. Which I kind of ended up liking in the end because Beetlejuice is not like a manicured character at all by any means. So it ended up working. Just trust the process. Moving on to eyes, I just blend out any creasing and I put some powder on my eyes to prevent creasing. If I had to do this over again, I probably wouldn't have powdered my eyes before I did the eyeshadow look itself because the multi-stick was hard to put over the powder. But anyways, to achieve the like purpley look for the eyeballs, I go in with a Wet n Wild multi-stick first as a base, and then I blend that out. Then after it is blended out to my kind of liking, I go in with a deep dark purple eyeshadow and I put that over top of the multi-stick. The multi-stick gives the eyeshadow, like, again, a really nice base, something for the eyeshadow to like grab and hold on to. And so since I wanted it like a really, really rich purple, that's why I use the multi-stick first. You could just go in with like the purple eyeshadow itself. But sometimes like purple eyeshadows, especially ones that are like this bright and bold of a purple, can be a little spotty. And so again, I just wanted that like really, really nice rich color. I blended it out past my crease a little bit. I end up going in with another color to kind of like outline the whole eye socket. So I didn't blend this out like too heavily, but I also didn't want it to get lost whenever like my eyes were open because I have a hooded lid. So I did blend this up probably a little bit further than my crease, a little bit further than I would probably like normal dark purple eyeshadow. But yeah, that's where we are with the eyes. Once I get that all blended out, I do end up taking like a pinky purple on a blending brush and I put that all over. Now, here's the thing. I thought I had ruined the look because this pink purple was so bright on top of the white and it was not really blending with the dark purple all that well. I almost took the whole thing off and started over and I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? But again, as I was saying earlier in the video, I kind of like the whole like messy, non-manicured, it's kind of like thrown together look of this. And so I ended up keeping it and I worked with it and I blended it out a little bit with some white eyeshadow underneath my eyebrows, and it ended up working out just fine. So yeah, again, this is one of those looks where you really just kind of have to like trust the process as you're going on. Mimic the same thing on the lower lash line, take the multi-stick, line my lower lash line, blend it out with some eyeshadow, then I go in with that like purpley magenta color, and I really bring that super duper far down to kind of like cover up my circles and like really outline the whole eye socket. After I get that all blended out, I really felt like my eyes were lacking something, so I go back in with a dark purple glitter and put that on top of my lid, because what is a Halloween costume without glitter, if you ask me? And so I just kind of do like half of my eyelid from the inner corner to the mid part of my eye with this dark purple glitter, and look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. It just really gave the eye look something that it was missing. 9 times out of 10, if you feel like your look is missing something, try glitter and you'll feel 100 times better about it. Or at least I do. That's my thought. Moving on to contour, I use a gray for the contour, and I do like just a normal human contour, forehead, cheekbones, neck, and jawline. I struggled with blending this out, and you'll see on my forehead here, I at first go in with like a dense brush, and that wasn't working because it was picking up the white. Then I go in with like one of those little cosmetic sponges, and that was picking up the white too. It didn't blend out so well. So then after I semi-blend out the forehead, I go into the cheekbones with the same brush that I applied it with, which is like this Real Techniques concealer brush. It's kind of like a stippling brush, like a little dense stippling brush. That did end up being a little too like heavily contouring though. The contour ended up coming out a lot more solid than I had anticipated it. So I went back in to blend it with some white, and I blended the gray and I blended the white, and it was just a little bit of a process. It just took some time to get it the way that I had wanted in the end. It didn't really end out how I thought it would or how I imagined it to. It didn't end badly. It's just not how I had initially intended for the contour to look. I wanted it to be a lot more subtle. And again, if I had to do this look over again, I probably would have contoured with powder and not cream. But it ended up being just fine in the end because of putting a translucent powder over top of it. It really kind of like toned down the contour. But again, yeah, if I had to do this over, I'd probably would have just contoured with like a light gray eyeshadow instead of actual cream, because it just came out so much heavier than I had anticipated it coming out. But that's okay. Then you set it with some translucent powder. I'm using the RCMA No Color powder, which is actually more of a white powder because it really does dull the colors down. So I just pounce that everywhere and then brush it off. I don't actually end up going back into any of those gray areas to really darken them up with anything. I just keep them that way because I kind of liked how they were all powdery finished and a little bit more on the duller side. So yeah. Do a little bit of nose contouring with some purple, which is the same purple that I put like around my eyes, that lighter color, and just brought it down to my nose, not doing anything like really specific with the nose contour or even anything precise. Black lips, I outline it with a black liquid lipstick, and then I fill it in with a dark gray liquid lipstick. Because Beetlejuice is more like gray tones than like black and white for his makeup. So, I mean, you really couldn't tell. They just look black, and honestly. Black eyeliner, just nothing fancy, just to kind of like hide the lash line of my false lashes. So I'm just taking a black liquid liner. Then I do end up tight lining and doing my waterline with a black liner as well. And I went back and forth on this too to see if maybe I should do like a purple or a white, but ultimately I felt like black was the right choice for a Beetlejuice look. It just kind of gives it more of a grungy look. Some mascara just to prep my lashes, to ultimately put some lashes on, some false lashes, because I just don't think that the look looked complete without them. And I don't quite remember, I mean, I have it on a list. I don't quite remember the lashes that I did end up using, but they were not a natural looking lash, that's for sure. They were a little bit more on the dramatic side, and it's because against the glitter, I really wanted you to be able to see them. And so I chose something that was a little bit more on the like heavy, glamorous side, if you will. Finishing off the white, I just paint the rest of my chest with this white cream paint. Again, not doing like a super amazing job, just something to cover up my chest. And then I do give myself a little bit of cleavage with the gray tone. And that's again, just to kind of give my chest a little bit more dimension rather than just leaving it like all one color. I just thought it gave like the look a little something. Finally, I was back and forth between if I actually wanted to do this or not. In the Michael Keaton version of Beetlejuice, he has like green things all over him. I don't know if it's moss. I don't know if it's like algae. I don't know what it is. But I was looking at myself and my face just looked kind of plain and I don't know what it needed. So I tried to put this lime green eyeshadow everywhere and I ended up loving how it looked. It just really kind of completed the Beetlejuice look. And I'm so thankful, because if it didn't, then I would have had to start from scratch. But I put this lime green eyeshadow down, and then in a minute you'll see I put a lime green glitter over top of the eyeshadow. And again, it's because I just felt like the eyeshadow itself just kind of looked a little flat. It looks fine the way it is, but in my opinion, if you have the opportunity to glitterize something, you should take the opportunity to glitterize it. So I just lay some lime green glitter down, and I really just think it gives a little dimension. It picks up the light really nicely. It gives it kind of a look of like, what is that on your face and coming out of your nose? But yeah, that's my opinion. After you do this, it's on to wardrobe, and I put on a blazer and a wig. The blazer I got from Goodwill for $4, and I just hot glued some black ribbon to it. So this is homemade. I just got it from Goodwill and Joann's, and some hot glue and burned my fingers. Then I took a really cheap wig that I had dyed green a long time ago, curled it, then sprayed it even more green because the green it was dyed was like pastel and I wanted this to be like bright green. Played around with a little bit, put 2 bobby pins in it to keep it out of my face, and that's it. That was my Beetlejuice look. I will link all of the products that I used down in the description box below. If you are interested in any of them, you can check them out on your own time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. I think it came out pretty well. I actually kind of really liked the blazer that I made. I was very skeptical that it would work out. But anyways, this is the look. I hope you like it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. I would hate for you to miss out on any more videos. Happy Halloween, guys. Please stay safe and have fun.